Hey, what is up, y'all? Roman here. I'm so glad to see you guys. I want to apologize first and foremost because I got the allergies about 2 weeks ago. Not just allergies, the allergies. Knocked me on my butt for about 2 weeks, and yeah, I'm glad to be almost finished with that. My voice is almost back to normal, which is great. Anyway, I'm glad to be here and with you guys and starting the next video. So in today's topic, I have kind of a lot to cover. I want to talk about actually starting with a yo-yo and a counterweight in your hand and what I did and maybe should have done differently at certain points to actually getting started in a way that would help me progress a little bit quicker and a little bit more efficiently and help me with overall 5A fundamentals. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is 5A yo-yo content. There's a ton of it out there, and there's really good stuff. And some of it's older, some of it's literally happening today. But there's so much great stuff out there, and I think that if we can work through that content, even if you're just watching it and not trying to learn the tricks or learn whatever the concepts are, it's a really great start to getting the ideas that people have kind of put into words about 5A yo-yo. So in no specific order, Josh Yee has a YouTube channel, and he has the 5A essentials, and they are great. There's really good stuff in there, and I think it's a great first place for you to kind of get started. The next thing is Yotrix. Yotrix has a ton of videos on YouTube, from literally getting started, like how to string up your counterweight, to playing and intermediate tricks. There's some hard stuff in there too, so don't think that I'm saying it's just intermediate. It gets in there, and yeah, they're really good stuff. Miguel Carrera has a bunch of older videos, but they're essentially like level videos, so like level 1 to 5, and there's like maybe 8 to 10 videos per level. If you can work your way through those, golly, you'll be really good really quickly. I'm still trying to beast my way through it, and it's tough. But so much great content on the YouTube that it's just, I think it's a great place just to even just start watching it. Maybe not trying every trick, but just start watching those, get an idea of what 5A concepts kind of work together and how if learning one trick can help you learn the next. So yeah, that's really cool. Now over on Instagram, my friend Jakob Austin, he's sponsored by Rain City Skills, and they do 5A Fridays, which is really cool because every Friday you're going to have some sort of 5A content, usually a tutorial, but it could be anything. I'm sure he has a lot planned for that, and I'm excited to see what he does with that. So yeah, I will have all of those in the links, all of those links in the description down below. And yeah, I would just, like I said, work through them as far as just watching them, maybe picking up a trick here or there, and yeah, just getting started. Now, if you're really advanced in 1A, you can probably pick some of this stuff up pretty quickly, but this is where we start to talk about the next kind of fundamentals before you start that. So the next thing is kind of a controversial thing. I feel like people are like, well, just use this, or just use this, or this is what's better, but I really do feel that as a new 5A player, what has worked for me is shorter string. So we're talking about string length. Shorter string has, in my opinion, more control, a little bit faster movements, which is a little bit tough, but you have a shorter string which equals into being able to catch the counterweight without having to reach your hands so far apart. If you have a long string, you're trying to reach that counterweight coming around, and it's really tough. So yeah, I like to measure off right at my belly button pretty much, and I actually stretch the string beforehand. So that way it doesn't get longer as I play, and that string stretches. And so roughly about my belly button is where I choose, but you know, you're gonna find what works for you, and I don't want to discourage you on using longer string. I'm just saying that it might be a little bit more difficult to get control over the counterweight and catching the counterweight correctly. But everybody has their own style, and I don't want to stifle that style that maybe you can create in the future. So, but it is good to have a foundation of something. So don't, maybe not interchange, oh, I'm going to have really long string and then really short string, and I wouldn't do that. Try to be consistent. I use shorter string. It works for me. Lastly, I want to talk about the control of the counterweight. What I kind of prefaced with the string length is actually counterweight control, because if that counterweight's coming around, it's really best in most situations to catch the counterweight and not the string before it. And letting the counterweight dangle with the string outside of your hand is just kind of a bad practice, I think. It looks sloppy, and it can actually, having to readjust your hand to go to the next trick rather than I caught the counterweight and I'm ready for the next trick, actually kind of hurts the flow, right, between tricks. So if you can practice each trick you learn, whether it's a 360 or anything, catch the counterweight. If the trick doesn't call for catching the counterweight, that's totally understandable. That's what you're aiming for, right? So if you're specifically saying, I am trying to catch a string because we're going to do an E-fan in between this, or we're going to get into this other rebound combo, then that's a whole other thing. That's specific kind of trick characteristics. There we go. Golly, hard to say all those things and figure it out on the fly. But yeah, that's really the main thing. I think having that counterweight control is going to help in the long run, and just figuring out how to catch and look smoothly between tricks. So yes, I think I feel good about this. I think it's a good starting point. That I wish I would have had this video when I started, because I kind of threw a counterweight on and started trying to learn 5A tricks. I got pretty frustrated, and there was a point where I was not excited about 5A May, 5A content, or 5A anything. Now I'm in love with it, but that's how it goes sometimes. So hopefully you found this video useful. I also want to ask you guys, if you're looking for a specific tutorial, or if you're looking for more like, hey, here's a trick that you can do in 5A, I don't really know the name of it, but here's what I do, and you want to learn that way, just give me your kind of ideas of what you think. I'd really like to know what you guys want to see from me. I do have a yo-yo review coming up that I'm excited about. Not going to spoil that yet, but that's about all for today. My name is Roman. It's great to see you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys again.